Welcome to Muscles and Magic the Gathering. Now, first things first, my name is Bobby Maximus. I am the Muscles. These cards, Magic the Gathering, an absolutely enormous passion of mine for the past 3 decades. It started in 1994 at the tail end of Unlimited. I am an OG Magic player and collector, first and foremost, and I have been in love with this game for years. And this series is all about my love and passion of Magic the Gathering. And today, we are going to go over one of my favorite Commander decks. So in fairness, I say all my Commander decks are my favorites. I currently have 57. At the time of filming this video, I have 57 full Commander decks, and I love each and every one of them. And today's Commander deck has a special place in my heart because it's one of my favorite creature types of all time in Magic. We are going to talk about pirates. Now, I've loved pirates since I was a little kid. I remember when I got my first pirate Lego set. This is back in the 80s. I don't know how many of you remember that. I used to play Sid Meier's Pirates on the computer. It's one of my favorite video games of all time. Anything pirate themed, I am 100% all in. I love the show Black Sails. I love Pirates of the Caribbean. Like I said, anything pirates, I am game. I'm getting out of control. I'm getting off topic. I'm letting my excitement get the better of me. Just know that I love pirates. Anyway, this deck today, this is my pirate theme. And when I talk about building decks, I'm far more of a collector than I am a player. Now, I happen to think some of my decks are pretty damn good and pretty competitive. Not going to lie, right? But when I build decks, I don't just build them to win. I build them with collection in mind. So when I tell you this is a pirate deck, oh, this is the pirate deck. We have all the iconic pirates. I want to represent those cards to the maximum ability. But this deck also has a sub-theme. There's another type of card I've always wanted to build a deck around, that I've always wanted to include, and it is the vehicle. And it just so happens that I have the ultimate pirate vehicle commander right here, Edward Kenway, so I could include them both. So without further ado, let's talk about my pirate deck, and let's talk about the commander. Now, I've got 2 cards listed. Bobby, what is going on? Well, this deck has a commander and a secret commander. One thing I love about Magic's precons is they always have the face commander and the other commander, so to speak. And sometimes the other commander actually works better. For my deck, I wanted to have 2 commanders, so here are your choices. Now, the primary one, we're going to call 1A, is Edward Kenway. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each tapped assassin, pirate, and/or vehicle you control. And whenever a vehicle you control deals combat damage to a player, look at the top card of that player's library, then exile it face down. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. So this checks all the boxes I want. It checks the boxes on pirates. It checks the boxes on vehicles. And we're also talking treasure tokens. I've said this before. I'll say it again. Now listen, I'm going to put a link to my deck lists in the show notes below. But I love treasure decks. I've got a bunch of treasure type decks. We've got Olivia, Opulent Outlaw. We have a Corvo deck. My Brea deck, you could argue it's an artifact deck. You could argue it's very, very highly treasure themed. So there's treasures involved in this deck too. And treasures involved pirates. So anyway, love Edward Kenway. But if you're bored playing Edward Kenway, you could also use Edward Jackdaw Captain, a.k.a. Admiral Beckett Brass. Almost couldn't say that. Kind of like a tongue twister. Other pirates you control get +1/+1. At the beginning of your end step, gain control of target non-land permanent controlled by a player who is dealt combat damage by 3 or more pirates this turn. So you want pirates, vehicles, and treasures, you're going to use Edward Kenway. You want a true pirate commander, you use Edward Jackdaw Captain. So there are our choices. But for the purposes of this, we're going to run with Edward Kenway because that is my 1A commander in this deck. Planeswalker support. From Aetherdrift, Chandra Spark Hunter. At the beginning of the combo on your turn, choose up to 1 target vehicle you control. Until end of turn, it becomes an artifact creature and gains haste. The +2 ability, you may sacrifice an artifact or discard a card. If you draw a card, card draw is everything in a game of Commander. I've said that before, I'll say it again. For the 0 ability, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with crew 1. And the final ability, you get an emblem with whenever an artifact you control enters, this emblem deals 3 damage to any target. Absolutely love this card. Now, I'm pulling up on my side computer this deck, so I have a little bit of extra data. This is an $18 card, and it's a super fancy version of a card from Ether Drift. I actually really, really like Ether Drift. Some people didn't, and you may come at me in the comments for it, but I absolutely love the set. I think it's really, really underrated. I also feel the same way about Murderers of Karlov Manor, but we are going down a rabbit hole, so we're going to get back on track. You are here because you want to learn about pirates, you want to learn about vehicles, you want to learn about treasure, and I got you covered. So let's talk about our pirates, our creatures, if you will. First up, Ramirez de Pietro Pillager. When Ramirez de Pietro Pillager enters the battlefield, you lose 2 life and create 2 treasure tokens. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal combat damage to a player, exile the top card of that player's library. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled. Another fantastic pirate, Time Stream Navigator. Ascend. If you control 10 or more permanents, you get the City's Blessing for the rest of the game. You pay some mana, put Time Stream Navigator on top of Zona's library, take an extra turn after this one, activate this ability only if you have the City's Blessing monster card in this deck. It's pretty easy with all the treasures we're going to create to get 10 or more permanents, and then we can get some extra turns. Mu Yanling, Wind Rider, another one of those fancy cards from Ether Drift. When this creature enters, create a 3/2 colorless vehicle artifact token with Crude 1. Vehicles you control have flying. Again, this is a vehicle deck. This is monstrous. And whenever one or more creatures you control with flying deal combat damage to a player, draw a card. We have Admiral Brass, Unsinkable. When Admiral Brass, Unsinkable enters the battlefield, mill 4 cards. At the beginning of combat on your turn, you may return target pirate creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield with finality counter on it. It has base power toughness 4/4, gains haste until the end of turn. Now the next one, it's not a pirate, it is not a vehicle, but we are talking treasure, and there's no better treasure card in the game than the Ancient Copper Dragon. Baldur's Gate, amazing set. I bought an excessive amount of it, and I got a bunch of Ancient Copper Dragons, and if I'm building a red deck, if red's included anywhere, it's probably got an Ancient Copper Dragon in the deck. But flying, you roll a d20, and then you make all the treasure tokens. From Outlaws at Thunder Junction, beautiful foil version of this. Malcolm the Eyes, flying haste whenever you cast your second spell each turn, investigate. Captain Lannery Storm. Whenever Captain Lannery Storm attacks, create a treasure token. There's that treasure token theme again. Whenever you sacrifice a treasure, Captain Lannery Storm gets +1/+0 until the end of the turn. He's got haste. Who is the ultimate pirate in Magic the Gathering? You know who he is. Say his name, say his name. Ragavan the Nimble Pilfer, one of the best 1-drops ever. I was actually talking to a friend about this today. Shout out to JP. But you want a bunch of powerful 1-drops in your deck to keep the overall mana value of the deck low. I'll talk about that a little bit at the end of the video. But Ragavan the Nimble Pilfer, you need more of this guy. Whenever Ragavan Nimble Pilfer deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token and exile the top card of that player's library until in turn you may cast that card. You want to create tokens, treasure tokens, you need an Academy manufacturer. If you would create a clue, food, or treasure token, instead create one of each monster card. Now, if Ragavan's the greatest pirate of all time, who is number 2? You could actually make an argument that this much maligned character is actually hands down number 1, but he has been unfairly vilified by the Magic community. I want to start a petition right now, and I want to see this in the comments. I want to see you comment 2 words. Free Hullbreacher. Free him. It's unfair he is banned. It's an incredible card. It's an incredible pirate. More on the banned list in a minute, because I cannot stand the banned list. But flash, and if an opponent would draw a card, except the first one they draw in each of their draw steps, instead you create a treasure token. Now, Bobby Maximus, why do you have banned cards? I don't believe in the banned list. The banned list is nonsense, utter nonsense. It's oppressive, it's hypocritical, it's unfair, it targets a certain type of player in the Magic the Gathering community. I can't stand it. Just a couple arguments. You're going to tell me that the Hull Breacher is oppressive, but you're allowed to use Heuristic Study? You're going to tell me that the Mana Crypt is unfair, but you're allowed to use a Soul Ring? A Soul Ring's better than a Mana Crypt, my friends. You're going to tell me that you can combo off the most degenerative combo in Magic the Gathering history, Vivi and Agatha's Soul Cauldron, but I can't play with a Hull Breacher? Get out of here. I can't even talk. I am getting so heated and so angry. Anyway, free the Hull Breacher. It's the greatest pirate ever. Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator. And by the way, my logic on that ban list, you know I am right. In your heart of heart, deep down in your soul, you know the ban list is nonsense, all right? Malcolm, Keen-Eyed Navigator, fly. Whenever one or more pirates you control deal damage to your opponents, you create a treasure token for each opponent dealt damage. Port Razor. I told you I had all the pirates. Whenever Port Razor deals combat damage to a player, untap each creature you control. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. Port Razor can't attack a player. It has already attacked this turn. Don Andres, the Renegade. Vampire Pirate. Each creature you control but don't own gets +2/+2, has menace, death touch, and is a pirate in addition to its other types. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell you don't own, create 2 tapped treasure tokens. Oh, one of my favorite sets of all time. And by the way, another controversial take. Yes, Bobby Maximus hates the ban list. Bobby Maximus loves Ether Drift. Bobby Maximus loves Murders of Karlov Manor. You know what else Bobby Maximus loves more than anything? Universes Beyond. Mary, Reed, and Anne Bonny. Haste, tap it, draw a card, then discard a card. That card draw feature, here we go again. The 3 most important parts. Repeat after me. You know it. You watch my videos. The 3 most important parts to a competitive commander deck. Tutors, mana ramp, and card draw. Whenever you discard an island, pirate, or vehicle card, create a tapped treasure token. Oh, another great pirate. Okay, listen. Maybe the Hull Breacher isn't the greatest pirate of all time. Maybe it's Dockside Extortionist. Let's call Hull Breacher, Ragavan, and Dockside 1A, 1B, 1C. How's that? When Dockside Extortionist enters the battlefield, create X treasure tokens, where X is the number of artifacts and enchantments your opponents control. Again, a banned card, refer to my TED Talk earlier. Cutthroat Negotiator. Parlay. Whenever Cutthroat Negotiator attacks, each player reveals top card of the library. For each non-land card revealed this way, you create a tapped treasure token. Then each player draws a card. Laughing Jasper Flint. Creatures you control but don't own are mercenaries in addition to their other types. By the way, a pirate is a mercenary. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top X cards of target opponent's library, where X is the number of outlaws you control. Until end of turn, you may cast spells from among those cards, and mana of any type can be spent to cast those spells. Actually, I don't know if a pirate is a mercenary. It's an outlaw. I know that because we do have a bunch of outlaw cards in here. For example, we have... Do I have an outlaw card in here? I'm pretty sure I had Back in Town, or I had Double Down. Pirates are outlaws, maybe not mercenaries. Someone answer that for me in the comments. Deadeye Plunderers. Deadeye Plunderers get +1/+1 for each artifact you control. Pay 4 mana, create a colorless treasure artifact token with, sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. Pitiless Plunderer, incredible pirate. Whenever another creature you control dies, create a treasure token. Metallic Mimic, it's not a pirate. It is a pirate. It's every other creature type. It's a shapeshifter. All right, but we're going to choose a creature type as it comes in, and we're choosing pirates. Each other creature you control, the chosen type, enters the battlefield with additional 1/1 counter on it. Forerunner of the Coalition, little known pirate, but great pirate. When it enters the battlefield, you search your library for a pirate card, reveal it, shuffle your library, put that card on top of it. I love tutors. Whenever another pirate enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. The Goldspan Dragon, I guess the second best treasure dragon of all time. Fine, haste. Whenever Goldspan Dragon attacks or becomes a target of a spell, create a treasure token. Treasures you control have tap. Sacrifice this artifact, add 2 mana of any color. And then the Generous Plunderer. For the big score, menace. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may create a treasure token. When you do, target opponent creates a tapped treasure token. Whenever Generous Plunderer attacks, it deals damage to defending player equal to the number of artifacts they control. Awesome creatures. Pirates heavily represented. Let's see if this is a true pirate deck. We have 1 pirate, 2 pirates, 3 pirates, 4 pirates, 5 pirates, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Yup, it is most definitely a pirate deck. So now, let's move on. We're actually going to do things a little out of order today. Let's move on to vehicles, because we talked about this being a pirate deck. We talked about it being a vehicle deck. Let's go over our vehicles. And I have some of the greatest vehicles in Magic the Gathering history here. Smuggler's Copter. Remember when this card was everything back in Kaladesh? Flying. Whenever Smuggler's Copter attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Crew 1. Imposter Mech. By the way, if you were here to learn about the best vehicles in Magic the Gathering history, you came to the right place. You may have Imposter Mech enter the battlefield as a copy of a creature an opponent controls, except it's a vehicle artifact that creates 3, and it loses all other card types. Nautiloid Ship, again from Baldur's Gate, great set, super underrated. Flying. When Nautiloid Ship enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Whenever Nautiloid Ship deals combat damage to a player, you may put a creature card exiled with Nautiloid Ship onto the battlefield under your control. Remember I said I love Universes Beyond. Here we have the Ecto-1, the Unlicensed Hearse. Exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. Ecto-1's power and toughness are each equal to the number of cards exiled with it. Jackdaw, you know we needed that because we needed a good pirate ship. Whenever a Jackdaw deals combat damage to a player, you may discard your hand. If you do, draw a card for each artifact you control. RMS Titanic, beautiful search foil. Flying, trample. When it deals combat damage to a player, sacrifice it and create that many treasure tokens. Crew 3. The Reckoner Bank Buster. It enters the battlefield with 3 charge counters on it. Tap 2. Remove a charge counter from Reckoner Bank Buster. Draw a card. Then if there are no charge counters on Reckoner Bank Buster, create a treasure token and a 1/1 colorless pilot creature token with this creature carries vehicles as though its power were 2 or greater. The Fel Flagship. Pirates control get +1/+0. Whenever Fel Flagship deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card. Crew 3. Lifecraft Engine. Again, I love Ether Drift. Don't at me about it. I love it, okay? As this vehicle enters, choose a creature type. Vehicle creatures you control are the chosen creature type in addition to their other types. Each creature you control, the chosen type other than this vehicle, gets +1/+1. We are picking pirates. Speaking of pirates, we have the Indomitable. Trample. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. A lot of card draw feature in this, but again, card draw is everything in a game of Commander. You may cast the Indomitable from your graveyard as long as you control 3 or more tapped pirates and or vehicles. The Belligerent. Whenever the Belligerent attacks, create a treasure token. Until end of turn, you may look at the top card of your library anytime, and you may play lands and cast spells from the top of your library. And another great vehicle card from Kaladesh. That was an awesome set, by the way. One of my favorite sets of all time. Fine. Whenever Sky Sovereign Console Flagship enters the battlefield or attacks, deals 3 damage to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. There are our vehicles. Let's talk about enchantments. Double down. Whenever you cast an outlaw spell, copy that spell. Like I said, pirates are outlaws, so super useful. Mechanized production. Enchant artifact you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted artifact. Then, if you control 8 or more artifacts with the same name as another, you win the game. Massive win condition. If you have this out, you're going to win this game because you're going to have all the treasures. Speaking of that, I didn't even put these in order. I didn't even rehearse this deck. I just pull out my decks and start talking about them. But another massive win condition. Revel in Riches. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, create a colorless treasure artifact token with tap. Sacrifice this artifact, add 1 mana of any color to your mana pool. At the beginning of your upkeep, you have 10 treasures, you win the game. Spiteful Banditry. Great card from Lord of the Rings, one of the best Magic the Gathering sets ever. By the way, what's your favorite Magic the Gathering set? I got to say mine too are Lord of the Rings and Double Masters, third movie Kaladesh. When Spiteful Banditry enters the battlefield, it deals X damage to each creature. Whenever one or more creature your opponents control die, you create a treasure token. This ability triggers only once each turn. The Black Market Connections, great card, super useful. At the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, choose one or more. Sell Contraband, create a treasure token, you buy one, you lose 1 life. Buy information, draw a card, you lose 2 life. Hire a mercenary, create a 3/2 colorless shapeshifter creature token with Changeling. You lose 3 life. And I just thought, I need to put a Black Market Connections in my Boji deck. By the way, shapeshifters work tremendous in a Boji deck. But we are not here to talk about Boja. And then finally, Alchemist Talent. Great card, an enchantment. This card is worth $6.57. I actually wanted to look at how much it is because it is really, really good. Beanborough was another great set. When Alchemist Talent enters, create 2 tap treasure tokens. Level 2, treasures you control have tap, sacrifice this artifact, add 2 mana of any color. And then level 3, whenever you cast a spell, if mana from a treasure was spent to cast it, this class deals damage equal to that spell's mana value each opponent. Great, great card. Let's talk about artifacts. You want to know an insane combo? How about Time Sieve and Edward Kenway? Talk about limited turns. At the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each tapped assassin, pirate, and or vehicle you control. Sacrifice 5 artifacts. Take an extra turn after this one. You are welcome for that, by the way. Sword of Wealth and Power. Great sword to create treasure tokens. Equipped creature gets +2/+2, has protection from instants and sorceries. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. And when you next cast an instant or sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for the copy. We have the Thought Vessel, no maximum hand size. There's a lot of card draw in this deck. We need it. Door of Destinies. We're going to choose pirates. Every time we cast a pirate spell, we put a charge counter on it. Then we get +1/+1 for each charge counter on it. We need some commander protection to protect Edward Kenway. So we got the Lightning Greaves, the greatest mana ramp card of all time. And my whole argument about why the banned list is nonsense. Sol Ring. Crystal Skull, Isu Spyglass. Useful in this deck. There's a lot of historic artifacts. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play historic lands and cast historic spells from the top of your library. Add a blue mana. Vanquisher's Banner. We're choosing pirates. A lot of card draw for the pirates. And Patchwork Banner. Again, creature anthem and mana ramp. Mana ramp's important in a commander deck. Finally, sorceries and instants. Budget Tutor, Insatiable Avarice. Got Spree, +2. Search your library for a card. Then shuffle, put that card on top of it. Then you add 2 black mana. Target player draws 3 cards and loses 3 life. Another Budget Tutor, Diabolic Intent. Don't at me about budget. You spent more on this on DoorDash last night. As an additional cost to cast a spell, sack a creature, search your library for a card, put that card into your hand, then shuffle. March of the Drowned, pirate-themed card. Choose one. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Return 2 target pirate cards from your graveyard to your hand. Brass's Bounty. For each land you control, create a treasure token. We needed this because it's a treasure deck. Casting cost is a little high for me. I don't think it's the greatest card in the world, but it fits as a pirate theme. If I was going to cut a card from this deck, it was probably this because I'm really big on low casting cost cards. Mystical Tutor, one of the greatest tutors of all time. Strict Serenade. Counter target artifact, creature, or planeswalker spell. Its controller creates a 2/2 blue bird creature token with flying. Another great counterspell. Classic. Swan Song. Counter target in enchantment, instant, or sorcery spell. Its controller creates a 2/2 bird creature token with flying. And we have Deadly Dispute. And guys, we got to make a little change here because we have a better version of the Deadly Dispute. I update my decks all the time. Get used to it. And I recently got some Sonic Secret Layers. So we are going to use the Sonic Deadly Dispute instead of this Deadly Dispute. Now that Deadly Dispute I chose because it has some like little pirate hats and stuff, but I like Universes Beyond better. So there we go with the Deadly Dispute. Now, lands. We got a bunch of basics here. We got swamps, we got mountains, we got islands, beautiful versions of lands. Trying to think about anything really cool. I love those from Dominaria. Phyrexian land. All right, we got a bunch of basics. I love basic lands, but you're not here for the basic lands. You know what they do. You are here for the special lands, the non-basics. The Grey Havens. When Grey Havens enters the battlefield, scry 1. Add a colorless mana. Add 1 mana of any color among legendary creature cards in your graveyard. Oh, from Doctor Who, another set I love. The Fiery Islet. All right, and this is a beautiful Surge foil version. You need pain lands in multicolored decks. Shivan Reef, great card. We have the Submerged Boneyard. Not necessarily the land I would put in. There's a bunch I would rather use than that, but that's the only land I had that left to put in this deck. Here's the deal. When I say there's other lands I would rather use, anyone in the right mind would use an Underground Sea instead of the Submerged Boneyard. If the Underground Sea, what does that go for these days? It's like $900, $1,000, whatever it is, right? And I only have so many of them. I've been playing for 31 years, but I only have like 100 dual lands. They're already used. I say only 100. I have a lot, by the way, but they're used in other decks. So this is the one I put in here. One of the things you will know about me is I build decks using only the cards I have. Listen, if I was using graphics on the screen and just hyper optimizing everything, this would be an Underground Sea, but I don't have that many of them. They're in use in other decks. So Submerged Boneyard, welcome to the show. And that's why I'm the most real Magic the Gathering creator on the internet, because there's no proxies, there's no graphics. There's just a real guy building real decks with real cards, and I got to make use of what I have. Mines of Moria. Great card from Lord of the Rings, generates some treasure tokens. We have the Black Cleave Cliffs. The Training Center, love that card. Again, Ether Drift, I love Ether Drift and River Pyre Burge. You're worth it just for the Burge lands. The Path of Ancestry. We have the Halimar Depths. The Temple of Epiphany. Oh, you can tell. No one would put a Temple of Epiphany in a deck for real. You can tell I've run out of lands, but with 57 commander decks, that's what happens. Spirebluff Canal. Spirebluff Canal enters the battlefield tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. You add a red or a blue. Love that. From Ether Drift, we have a Rogue's Passage. We have the Abstergo Entertainment. Great card from Assassin's Creed. And another command tower. And on that note, let's make another change. Let's do it. Let's get rid of that command tower. And let's put in Secret Lair. Which one do you think it is? You know, because I already did it and these just came in. Let's go with the command tower. All right. That's my pirate deck. We're not done yet. We're going to make a couple of changes. So bear with me and let's talk some strategy, a little bit of bonus content. A lot of times when I do these commander deck videos, I just show off my commander deck because I just love my collection. And a lot of people say you can feel my passion through the screen. You can tell how passionate I am about building, about tinkering, about my collection, right? It's kind of like my life's work. You could say it's fitness. You could say it's fighting in the UFC, but my decks are unreal. But I'm always looking to upgrade my decks, to do different things, to add different things. Now, a couple things. One, when I go to do my decks, I'm always looking for the best version of the card possible, collectability. So we had Lightning Greaves in this deck, and we are going to replace it with the Sonic one because I love the Sonic cards. It's great. I'm always looking to increase the value of the deck. That Lightning Greaves was $4.16. This Lightning Greaves, this one's only $3.91. Ooh. I still like Sonic better, so I'll make the change, despite the fact I'm interested in value. So let's go Lightning Greaves because I love Sonic. All right, now, a couple of cards that I kind of want to add. I kind of want to add Unexpected Windfall. I kind of want to add the Weatherlight. Now, when I go to upgrade my decks, let's talk about metadata here. I've got my deck list pulled up off to the side. You want the deck list for this? It's in the show notes. This is some deck tech stuff. This is exciting. We went beyond the Commander format. All right. Commander format for my channel, if you will, because I have my videos doing 2 buckets, Commander and deck tech, right? But when I'm looking at building a deck, I'm always looking at what I call the meta. Now, this is a bracket 3 upgraded, although it does have some illegal cards, so we're probably going to put it in bracket 4, because I think the ban card should actually just be game changers. But that's how I, justify it in my head. But this has 1 game changer, a mystical tutor. It has 2 extra turn cards, a time sit and a time stream navigator. It has 4 tutor cards. 4 runner of the coalition, diabolic intent, mystical tutor, insatiable avarice. Next one's $499.17, and the mana value is $190. So a couple of things I like to pay attention to when I'm building decks. 1, it's got to have a lot of card draw. It's got to have a lot of tutors. It's got to have a lot of mana ramp. So if I was going to improve this deck, I want more mana ramp. I want more tutors. I want more card draw. But also, I'm trying to get the overall mana value of the deck down, all right? If it's under 200, it's going to move fairly fast, but my most competitive decks are 158, 160, 161, 162. What's mana value, you ask? It's all the mana symbols in the cards put together. So this is a 4. This is a 4. That makes it 8 put together. If your deck, again, is under 200, it's going to move fairly fast, but I want to really get it under 200. Like 190 is too high for my liking. So if I want to add these cards, I want to add this because it's a vehicle. And I also think it's really, really good in this deck. Flying, whenever Tornado deals combat damage to a player, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a historic card from among them, put them into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. We have a bunch of historic cards in this deck, artifacts and legendaries, right? And then we have a card that's great for treasure tokens. Discard a card, draw 2 cards, and create 2 treasure tokens, unexpected windfall. So we're going to look at ways to simultaneously get the mana value of the deck down. And also, we are going to look at ways to make the deck better, okay? So we've got a lot of vehicles in this deck. I'm going to first look for vehicles with a really high casting cost. And I actually did a good job at keeping the casting cost of the vehicles fairly low. We don't have a massive casting cost vehicle that I could get rid of. So we're going to hold off on that one. But remember I talked about Brass Bounty being a massive casting cost? I'm actually going to take that out. I don't like the casting cost of that. I get that it is a cool card for pirates, but it's a massive casting cost. Give me a win condition with Revel and Riches, but probably not. So we're going to get rid of that. The casting cost is 7. And let's put in Unexpected Windfall. All right. Unexpected Windfall. Let's take a look. Windfall. Just got to make sure I spell that right. All right. There we go. We just put that in. It's got a casting cost of 4, so it's less. We're going to switch to printing. The secret layer drop is more. So there we go. Now, instead of 190, we are down to 187. So that means the deck is going to move a little bit faster. And I upgraded my deck to the cooler Sonic version of the card. Now I got to find a way to include the Weatherlight. I really, really like that card. I want to put it in the deck. What do I have with a massive casting cost that I don't want to use anymore? And actually did a fairly good job at keeping a lot of the casting cost of this card fairly low. So I might just have to take a 1-for-1 switch, if you will. Smuggler's Copter, great card, low casting cost. Do not want to take that out. Sword of Weapon Power is a great card. The Belligerent, that might have to not make the cut, although it's a pirate ship. You see the trouble we're running into? This is a pirate theme. I don't really want to lose that. This is tough. I'll tell you right now, cutting your friend is one of the hardest things to do in a Magic the Gathering deck. We're going to get rid of the Lifecraft engine. All right? I kind of forced it in this deck. It doesn't fit the theme. It is space. I like the Tornado Sonic playing better. So we just got rid of the Lifecraft engine. Let's go Tornado. All right, the Weatherlight. Beautiful. And it's Sonic's biplane. We're using the foil version. All right. I can work with that. Lifecraft Engine, you are gone. Tornado Sonic's biplane, you are in. And there we go. I upgraded the collectability of my deck. I upgraded the playability. The total mana value is now 188. That to me is better than a 190. It's not remarkably better, but we are getting there. You don't really need more pirate support. I want more Docksides, more Hull Breachers, more Ragavans. I want more powerful pirates to make Edward Kenway the greatest pirate deck of all time. So thank you for coming by. Listen, you know how much I love deck tech. You know how much I love tinkering. You know how much I love playing with cards. If you have any suggestions to help me improve my decks, please put them in the comments below. As you saw at the end of this video, I do a lot of deck tech. I am happy to make the change. And by the way, when you go check out this deck list, there might be changes because if cards are released, if I get new cards, I will update my decks on the fly. So just be prepared for that. I love you all. Thank you genuinely for allowing me to do this. Thank you for spending some of your day with me. And thank you for allowing me to share one of my greatest passions ever, Magic the Gathering. Pirates forever.